Now, we will begin by chanting from the Shankaracharyas. Many of you must be having the paper. You just see. I will say small, breaking then you can repeat with me. Here, as you all know, is giving the suggestion, and we are remembering that I am not the mana, mind, buddhi, intellect, chitta, the repository, the store, and naham shotra, neither the ear, not the nose, not the eye, not anything. And I am not the ear, and not the space, not the earth. Then who am I? The last word, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am Sat-Chit Ananda Rupa, Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. So this, the way, slowly we will go to that stage. The friends, that we started this meditation class on 7th April. And today is 7th July. Then today we will enter into the great aphorisms of Patanjali Yoga Darshan. The great people of India, after giving so many things, one thing they were very shy of, to tell their names, to tell about themselves. And that is the reason we do not find the original idea about the person who has written, Patanjali. And who is the Patanjali? When he was living, nothing is. Here, the same thing is also there. Why? Because the philosophy, naham, naham, tuhu, tuhu, not me, it is thee, it is thy. All the time, everything that, anything that good that we are doing, we're dedicating to God. I could write, that is because of the God. I can speak, that is because of the God. I don't have any credit, so why should I mention the name? So this is the problem we are finding. The different researchers nowadays, once again they go according to their own idea and own thought, and they are telling over here, like Professor Peterson of Bombay Asiatic Society, he mentioned that Patanjali was the 5th century person. And then next one came Dr. Weber. He said no, it is 1st century. Dr. Gopal Krishna Bhandarkar is a very famous researcher of Indian researcher. He said Patanjali was in 2nd century. How they can think like that? Because they will be getting the quotation from different history and different other books and the mentions of the Patanjali, and from there they will come. Shunda, who was the second we can say after the Ashoka and this third generation, Shamrat Ashoka and the Maurya Vangsha, and after the dynasty of the Maurya, the last one, he killed and then he took out the reign and he became the Shundra. Some people to say at the time of the Shundra. And on that they are calculating. But according to the traditional analysis, this is called Mahabhashya. This explaining in the aphorisms of Patanjali. In the aphorism itself, he has mentioned Gaurnadiya Stvaha Satyametat. Gaurnadiya Spraha Satyametat Sati Tvannasminniti. Mahesh Chandra Pal, his Patanjali Yogodarshan, there he is mentioning, while explaining this aphorism, this is a sutra, and some people will be explaining it. As Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he said, to realize God, to keep your mind on God, only three things that you have to do. You have to go to a holy person, and then to a solitude, and you have to sing the name of the God like this. It's an aphorism. Then we are explaining. I think I have explained for 2-3 months. It is going on. Who we can say the holy person, and like that, Here also the aphorism Gaurnadiya Staha Satyameta, he is explaining Koi At, and who is explaining this? Koi At is a very famous scholar. He is mentioning Gaurnadiya Staha means Bhashyakara Staha. Gaurnadiya equal to Bhasyakara. And who is the Bhasyakara? Patanjali. Why he has mentioned as a Gaunakara? Because the place he was born is a Gaunakara. So there was a place, the village, the name was Gaunardiya. So this Gaunardiya is the place where from this Patanjali came. Similarly, another aphorism of Patanjali, Ubhayastha Gonika Putraha. He again in that aphorism he is mentioning like this, according to the explanation of Nagesh Bhatta, is another person who has explained these sutras. This Nagesh Bhatta is telling, Ganika Putra Bhashyakara Ittahu. Ganika Putra, the name is the Bhashyakara again. In Kathamrita, you will find some places, that Kathamrita who has noted down the conversation of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was Mahendranath Gupta, a teacher. But in the Kathamrita, he has mentioned Ma, only M, or sometime Master, and sometime Mahendra. Like that, in different places and different names he has used. It was necessary to mention his name, otherwise it was difficult to explain. Who was there? So who is giving this account? So he mentioned in the presence of M, Sri Ma, this one. Who is this Sri Ma? Then other people they explain it is the same person. Then Master, who is this Sri Ma? Master, the same person. So like that, traditionally, Master also tried to do that. Swamiji appreciated it. He said it is good. And most of the cases you will find nowadays, we like to see our name first. So we'll be quoting from different people, those who have written the articles, only some of the articles we are mentioning over there, printing over there, but book has been written by so and so. What book? You have done nothing. You have only collected some of the articles and arranged it and printed it. But we find that this is the name of the book. And what maximum he has done, he has written only a preface, that's all. But here you see the original people, they never. But it was necessary to mention, so he mentioned in such a way so that only those people will be able to understand, those who have the connection. He mentioned about his village and he mentioned about his mother. His mother was very famous lady, her name was Ganika. And in those days, the people never felt shy to tell that I am the son of my mother. So here, Ganika Putra, Vatsayan Kamasutra, there is one line. Gaurnagdiya Bharjadhikarikam Gonika Putra Paradarikam Kamasutram Shanshipa. Here, both the names, the Vatsayan have mentioned. He has mentioned Vatsayan. But you find the Gaurnagdiya and Ganika Putra. And who is this two? The same. The famous scholar Bachashpati Misra mentioned that Patanjali is a Varshaganya. Varshaganya means student of Varshagana. The teacher who taught Patanjali, his name was Varshaganya. And Kuthumi Prachini Yoga. Kuthumi Prachini Yoga, that he was the husband of Ganika Devi. He was the father of Patanjali. Now from different places, in different time, now we are finding all these names and stitching together, we can say that from this scholar we can say his mother name was Ganika Devi, his father name was Prachini Yoga, his birthplace was Ganardhapura, and he was the student of Maharshi Varshaga. So this is the total. Now we will be going to read a very famous book, Patanjali Yoga Darshan. And who was this Patanjali? He was the Patanjali. His father was also very famous, and he came in the lineage of Maharishi Vyasa. This Vyasa, afterwards, he came this way, Parashara Putra Vyasa. First, the son of Parashara is Vyasa. Then his son Jaimini. Then his son Sumantu. And his son Sutwa. These are the son, they are going father and son like this. Then comes the disciple Sukarma. Then again his disciple Kriti. And the seventh disciple Kuthumi. This from Kuthumi, one school started, a tradition started. Like Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna tradition started. What is the Ramakrishna tradition? That's to take the religion in its originality. And what is the originality of the religion? God is in every being. That's all. Now, if God is in every being, and accordingly you have to behave. Accordingly you have to. Otherwise, just by taking the initiation of Sri Ramakrishna, and then not understanding his philosophy, not understanding his tradition, not that you won't be a religious person, of course you will be, but not in the process of Sri Ramakrishna. In Bengali, again and again, our senior Swamis, they used to say, Ramakrishna Mushai Druto Hoite Hoibe. Ramakrishna Musha means, in the philosophy of Ramakrishna, you have to adopt that philosophy of Ramakrishna. And some people, they jokingly say it is not the mission, it is the machine. They take us and put him in there, and then afterwards we come out it like that. And what is that machine? How they do? First and foremost thing, first 3 years when a young boy is joining, are you having any responsibility back in home? Then don't come. And if you are liking to come, then what is your age? After 24? No. Then suppose you are having a lot of other qualities, the doctorate and all these things, okay, up to 30 maximum. For the foreigners, up to 30. So this way they choose. You should not have any physical ailments. You know, in army or in military, when they choose, they taste medical test for 3 times and we are having 6 times. First when you are coming, then afterwards, every time you have to. So that way you have to go. Why? You have come to serve, not to be served. So this is, then what? Suppose one very highly qualified person, he joined in the mission, 2 years, he will be in the any place, any center, he can join under any Swami. Then he has to go to the headquarters of Belur Math. Why? 200, 300 Swamis will observe you what you are doing. And regularly, you have to sweep the bathrooms, you have to go to the kitchens to dress the vegetable, you have to go and serve the elderly senior people, and then whatever they will say you have to. Why? Because you have to eradicate the ego. And then there should not be any idea of I and mine. You should not have anything. So that way slowly they are processing. So they used to say it is the machine and then slowly. But sometimes some material is necessary. Machine is very good. But the material they are putting like me, so it is defective material. So somehow what to do. So this type of sometimes the defective things also may come, but that doesn't mean the process is wrong. Process is perfect. So here also, Kuthumi is the school he started. That Kuthumi's disciple was Sringiputra. And then comes the 9th one, Prachin Yoga, and his son is Patanjali. This Patanjali, he is explaining. And this Patanjali, what he has done, Patanjali made the Kama Sutra in a very simple form. Why? For the benefit of the householders. This is a science. It is also necessary. Otherwise, you won't get the good son and daughter. Human being, it is necessary. So, he has mentioned that. Secondly, he explained the Sanskrit grammar of Panini. Very simple way. Otherwise, it would have been very difficult to penetrate into Sanskrit. Third, in the Rig Veda, there is a Ayurveda. That also he explained. He has given in a very simple form. And that has come as a charaka. There is a medicine. And finally, he composed Yoga Sutra. Then he passed away. So these are his contribution. And what is the Yoga Sutra? The very first sloka, you have Yoga Sutra. You know how many people have written commentary on the Yoga Sutra? Including Swami Vivekananda, 24 people. 24 very famous people have written commentary on the Yoga Sutra. And what is the commentary? The one simple aphorism he is telling. Atha Yoga Anushashanam. I will be following this Raja Yoga of Swami Vivekananda. This book is available in our bookstore. If you can keep in your hand every week, it will be very easy for you to follow. First is the Sanskrit, then the explanation. So, Atha Yoga Anushashanam, the 3 words. Why Atha? So many words have been used to explain the word Atha. Athato Brahma Yajnasa. There are also another famous scripture is there. The very first word of the mantra is Atha, Athata, Brahma Yajnasa. We are asking about, inquiring about the Brahman. Here, Atha Yoga Anushashanam. Atha means different meaning, but it is adhikari, adhikarartha. Adhikarartha what? The person who is ready to learn yoga for him, not for everybody. Swami Vivekananda gave very simple, one half sentence we can say. Now concentration is explained. Atha yoga anushashanam. Concentration is explained. But to whom? We cannot explain it to children. It will be very difficult. The people who are not qualified to learn it, for them it has no value. So the writer, very first thing that he is mentioning, are you ready to listen? Then only I will see. Sometimes some people will be asking questions, somehow this house I have done. Then the lady will be asking the question, Swamiji, what is this? Then when I started to explain, she will go to prepare the tea, then he will talk to somebody. Then for whom I am telling? Sometimes I also wonder. And then the other people, they are not ready and they are not coming with that question. But anyway, I have to tell. Then ultimately I told that lady, have you listened to that? Oh yes, Swamiji. What did I say? No, when he will come. That was the last sentence I told. But the whole half an hour that I explained about. So this way, this aphorism, the writer is telling very seriously, Atha, for that person only, who are adhikari, for them, this we are giving. What is that? Yoga. Now the yoga, some people are explaining the word yoga means samadhi. Here the word has been used, the yoga means samadhi, ultimate. According to the Hariharananda, is a very, very famous commentator, Hariharananda Aranya, very famous commentator. Here the yoga means samadhi, but the general meaning of the yoga is union. Yoga yukta. Yukta means union. Union in what? With whom I am going to meet? God, or the Atman, or the Brahman. So that way, this is the technique that I am going to tell, by which you will be able to unite with God. Then come Atha, Yoga Anushasana. What is the meaning of the Anushasana? Discipline. I am going to tell you something about the discipline. If you are not ready to accept this discipline, this is not for you. This is very clean. So, Atha Yoganushashanam. This discipline is a spiritual personality he is giving. If we are not following the discipline or the Anushasana or the instructions, we can say, that which has been followed by the person in his own life, and he has been successful in that, then only his Anushasana, his training is useful, otherwise not. So this is very important. Shankaracharya, again and again, all the sannyasins, they'll be quoting this. Durlabham trayami vaitat devanugraha hetukam. Very difficult to achieve. Three things. Manushyatam, not only human body, but the human qualities also. Then comes mumukshutvam. There are so many good people out there, but they don't care about God. They don't want to get out of this birth and death circle. So mumukshutva means mukti ichcha. They desire to get liberation. Liberation from where? From the bondage of birth and death. So that is called mumukshutva. And then finally, Mahapurusha Samasraya. This is very important. This Mahapurusha Samasraya is most important for a human life. Sometimes we go to so many different people, but then come out in a very wrong impressions. So that is the problem. This Anushasana, this discipline means, who is giving the discipline? Here we find in Shankha Yoga, it's very clearly it is telling, Itaratha, Andha Parampara. Andha Parampara. Sometimes we are so careful about maintaining the tradition. What tradition? Sometimes something is developed for that particular time. Afterwards, according to the situation, it changes. Swami Vivekananda, without any hesitation, he put on the European dress. Pant, shirt, trousers, coat, hat, everything. And everybody said, oh, tradition broken, tradition broken. Because the Swamis are not supposed to wear this type. This type of stitching dress, that's also introduction of Swami Vivekananda. The traditionally, even if you see the Buddhist monks, they don't stitch. The only two different type of clothes they will use without stitching. And bare body, barefoot, you are supposed to be. Vivekananda never cared. Tradition is do not cross the ocean. He broke it. Raja Ram Mohan Rai, when he came from Calcutta to London, he came with jar full of Ganga water. Perhaps he was sprinkling all the way on the ocean, the Ganga water, so that that water becomes pure. I don't know. Then he carried with him not only Ganga water, but a cook, Brahmin cook. He was a Brahma, but he carried a Brahmin cook. He used to cook for him. And Vivekananda never cared. All people started telling what will happen, this man, and nothing happened. So this is the tradition doesn't mean that was continuing, so we have to continue. Whether it is giving us any good result, that we have to see. Itaratha, on the parampara, all Indian language can understand parampara, a tradition. But if it is a blind tradition, I think I told you that story, that one young girl, she was newly married and coming to the in-laws' house, all her elderly other ladies, they told, see, you are going to that house and you have to leave over there, you have to adapt all those things. Be very careful, always keep your eye open and observe everything that you have to. And she was very alert. And when she was entering, from the corner of her eyes, she saw a black cat is tied with a rope on the right hand side of a window. So immediately she registered that when a new marriage is there for the son, new bride is coming, black cat with the rope should be tied by the right hand side of the window. Now after 30 years, when her son was going to marry, there was no right hand side window, there was no black cat, and it was not necessary because that black cat was making some problem. So someone suddenly got hold of that and tied it over there because the new bride is coming, all this. So that was not the tradition, but she recorded. And they said, it is impossible to marry my son unless we get a black cat. So that black cat was brought from the market and it was tied. One new window was fit over there. Then she was satisfied. And a tradition started in their family. This is a joke. But the thing is, most of the time, the tradition comes like that. Why the black cat? She never inquired. Why this is this? Never inquired. Then one lady was complaining that someone of her relative died in Bombay, and here in America, priest is not allowing her to enter into the temple. And all people, very highly qualified, and mostly engineers, doctors, scientists, they are also supporting the priest. You should not come because it is a tradition. No, but tradition for what? Now let me explain. See, in olden days, in our places, most of you know, the senior people, the birth and death all were in our home only. The child is to take birth in our home and death also. Immediately after that, after the death, the person who is dying, naturally his bed and his clothing, all that is, they used to burn, including the bed also, they used to burn. So that was so scientific. And the people of that house were not allowed to come to the temple because temple was the place where all the people used to come and mingle. There is no other hotel and all the clubs and all this. So that temple was the center where people used to come. You will notice in every temple there is a Nat Mandira. They say Mandir, but Nat means culture. And it is little separated from the Garbha Mandira. The Garbha Mandira means there the god or goddesses will be enshrined. And Nata Mandira, all people, suppose the girl has learned singing or dancing, someone has produced a very good fruit, all things will come over there. Or learned persons will be sitting and discussing about themselves. Villagers used to come and sit and they used to learn. Suppose these people, they go to there and it may contaminate the whole village. That's why this. Now, majority of us are dying in the hospital and taking birth in the hospital. So it is nothing that we have to continue that tradition. But, itaratha andha parampara. Without understanding why these things were there, we are continuing. So this is how they are explaining. Unless you are following a good tradition, the tradition which has been proved by so many's life that it gives good fruit, good result. Otherwise, it is of no use. The Anushasana means spiritual instructions, which was brought great change in the lives of the people. And again, here, after giving the caution to the person who is going to listen to the Yoga Sutra, now he gives the definition. What is the definition? This is the beauty of our Shastra. In the beginning they will tell everything, then they will explain. First they will give the definition and this way they will explain. Yoga, Chitta, Vritti, Nirodha. Very simple one sentence he is telling. What is yoga? What is meditation? What is concentration? Chitta, one word. Vritti, another word. Nirodha, another word. These three words he is mentioning. What is chitta? Majority of you attended the class, you know. The chitta means we have divided in 4-5 parts like that. Mana, buddhi, chitta, ahamkara. Mana means mind. And the capacity of the mind and what is the duty of the mind? Only to see, only to observe through our sense organs. Chakshu, karna, nashika, jiva, tak. From the eye, with the ear, all information we are collecting and sending to the mind. The mind is taking it to the brain. And then, if it is not finding equal something, it is confused. And whether this or whether that is going on like this. And then it will take to the buddhi. And that buddhi immediately decide, oh, it was there. Almost like this, it was there, so it is like this. So, mana, buddhi, chitta and ahamkara. This buddhi is determinative faculty. Sankalpa, vikalpa, atmika, mana. Is this not, is this not? Many people, they can't take decision. This is the problem. Majority of our leaders, this capacity is absent. That's why they are not good leaders. Good leaders are those who can take proper decision. The moment they see something, and see, actually there is no problem. We use the word problem. We have a lot of problem. There is no problem at all. Situation. Some situation has come. I am standing before a situation. Now if I can handle properly, no problem. If I cannot handle, then is a problem. So obviously, this mana, buddhi, then the chitta, that pigeonholes so many millions of, now the computer, they say megabytes, I don't know, something like that. This byte, that byte, it will be so many, it's all pigeonholes, just like our brain, our mind. There will be all stored. The moment a child sees a rabbit, is afraid. But he is not afraid with the dog, because with the dog she knows or he knows, the child knows. But the rabbit is afraid. When this is a rabbit, see the picture, this is this, then he can understand. Because it is stored over there. That's called chitta. So, mana, buddhi, chitta and ahamkara, I consciousness. We have explained. Those who have attended the classes previously, you know, we have explained it in details. The mana, buddhi, chitta, ahamkara, this is the thing of that chitta vritti nirodha. A vritti means waves, thoughts, one after another. This is very peculiar. Small child, just newborn babe, that is also having some chitta. And it is also thinking. Sometimes it will be laughing, and even in his sleep it will be smiling. And the mothers and the senior ladies, they will be telling, now the child is dreaming. Why from the dream came in the past life? Is coming. So chitta means all stem. And all this wave after wave thought is coming. We cannot sit just without vacant mind. We can never sit. Constantly we are going on thinking, and the flow is so fast and so strong. And now what is yoga? To stop that. Nirodha. We have to stop that flow of thought. That is called yoga. Yoga, chitta, vritti, nirodha. And thought comes from where? From our collections. Different type of things we collect by hearing, by touching, by seeing, by tasting. Sometimes there will be something will be there, say pizza. And it was some people, they have by wrongly put some very hot chili over there. Now one who has tasted that, the moment he will see the pizza, no, what happened? This is very hot. Why that impression is there? Maybe it is a sweet or something else. But first impression will come from that. This way our mind is, the moment we see someone, immediately we are afraid. Oh, this may be a very bad person. You know, in Assam, you are coming back, driving almost 9-10 hours. We wanted to reach back to our ashrama. 2 cars were there. You know, in our place, we are supposed to be very religious people, but at the same time nowadays, we are so adept and very natural it has become to cheat people. One of our car wanted to take the, as they call it over here, the gas, the petrol. And instead of petrol, the 15 liters pure drinking water they pour. And it is not like us over here in America that you go and take of yourself. Some people, that whole tank was water and they put. And afterwards, when you try to start the car, it was not. Then what to do? We couldn't blame those people. Then somehow we purchased a rope and tied both and we were dragging slowly. We reached to a small township. And before that, it was a jungle. Suddenly one person came driving. And very tall, black, hefty, and voice is also very harsh. He came and said, "Any trouble, Swamiji?" I was thinking, there is no trouble, but now it is beginning. With you. The moment I saw him, I thought he is surely going to do something harmful because of his figure. Then he understood. He said, "Don't judge me by seeing my figure. I am a bad looking person, but good by heart. And this is my son. He is studying MBA at Gujarat. You can talk to him." This son came and they said, "Please come to our house. This is almost 11 o'clock night. You cannot be on the road like this. And so please come." But some other people are also there. We were thinking what to do, let us go. We went over there, and then he arranged for food, our night food. And he's an influential person, afterwards I came to know. He called a mechanic, actually brought from his home, and then opened that, cleaned it, and put the fresh gas in that, petrol in that, and it took nearly 3-4 hours, almost 2 o'clock night, we were ready to leave. And all is, when I was not getting down, because some of the ladies are also there in the car, in the second car, for their safety I was not getting down. He brought his wife and daughter also. He is my wife, she is my daughter, they will take care of you. So this way, why all this? Afterwards, I was so ashamed. Again and again, I told, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Why did it happen? Because our association that a bad person must be very bad looking. Is it? There are very handsome persons so crooked, so cruel. And when you see the Durga Pratima, Durga image, the Ashura, always ugly looking and big monsters and muscle and all that. And so naturally from the childhood days the impression is, so it immediately came in my mind, he may be bad, but actually he was not. He became very close friend to our asrama afterwards. So this is the thing, yoga, chitta, vritti, nirodha. We have to control the thought, the process of thought, the flow of thought. How? That you will say afterwards. Yoga, chitta, vritti, nirodha. According to Swami Vivekananda, yoga is restraining the mind stuff, chitta, from taking various forms, vrittis. And in various forms they are taking. I was telling you from my experience, the various forms it is taking. That is called vritti. And then he is explaining, the Swami Vivekananda is explained, third aphorism of the Yoga Sutra is telling, suppose we can control our mind, what will happen? And wonderfully, aphorism means, in a very simple way, as minimum as possible words they have used. What is that? Tada, at that time, when you have restrained, when you are totally free from all thoughts, tada, drashtu, swarupi avasthanam. Drashta, drashtu. This drashtu means drashta, the one who is actually observing. Swami Vivekananda, today I am not explaining that because time will be short. He is telling who actually sees. Let us take that eye. The moment there is no eye, we can't see. And so we are so careful about the eyes. But is it that instrument is seeing? No. There is another thing. There is another thing. There is another thing. Ultimately, it is the Atman. When the mind is not attached with the eye organ, maybe that we are keeping our eyes open and observing people going away and things are moving, but we don't register it. Why? Mind is absent. Is the mind conscious? No, not again. Mind also is not conscious, but it looks like conscious. Why? It is reflected by the consciousness. The majority of the people will take the help of the secretaries before reaching to the boss. Why? He is not boss, the secretary is not the boss, but it is reflected, the personalities of the position, decision of the boss. So mostly we go to the secretary or the person near to that man, then through him we go. Mind is like that. It is reflected of the Atman. And what is that Atman? It is within us. We are actually that, but we do not know. This is very peculiar. In one Bengali song it sings, Jano nare mon, ami putra tar, samanyo to noi, rajputra hoi, pitar dhane amar purno adhikar. In Bengali they are singing, I am the son of God and all the power of God is me. I am having that. I have every right to get that. Don't think I am ordinary. He is addressing the mind. Janu nare mon. Mon means he himself. You don't know who am I. I am the son of God and I am having the capacity of God because that is my birthright. It's a wonderful song that way they explain. And what happens? Tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. What is that swarupa? The Purusha again. In the last hour, in the Ganges retreat, Yogatmanandaji, our Provident Swami, he was explaining about this Purusha. And he was explaining what do we mean by the word Purusha. It's not the male body. The Purusha means one who is remaining within. And this remaining within is what? It is not a male or a female, it's a consciousness. And this consciousness, when it is there, that we can see. Tada drashtuhu swarupik avasthanam. Bhagavan Sri Ram Krishna, by practicing meditation, by withdrawing all the senses, he used to hide from the people. Whenever the people will come, he used to go and hide. Why? Because if I go and talk with them, my mind will be restless. The moment you are talking with someone, some impression of that person also coming to you. So in the beginning of your monastic life or the spiritual life, one must be careful about it. So you have to be awake. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling from his own experience. Go to a holy person, then to a secluded place. After meeting the holy person, if you go to a cinema or a theater, what will happen? It will dilute, you will forget. So the company of the holy person or the instructions of the holy person or his advices will have no value. So that is the reason you have to retire. Why? So that you can think yourself. This is very important. Sometimes we'll be reading books in Bhagavad Gita. Majority of our Hindu people, they'll be reading Gita, they love reading Gita. And mostly they will read Gita explained by someone. And what happens? That impression comes to you. So Swami Vivekananda is suggesting, don't read any explanation. Read original. Try to understand the meaning in your own way. And then you compare. He is telling like this, he is telling like that. That will be the tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. Swarupa means the original thing. And what is that original? Purusha. That Pura you can explain. Swami Vivekananda, he was one day meditating. Again and again, he used to meditate right from his childhood days. He was a born yogi. In the September, we have made a series of lectures on Swami Vivekananda. The whole September month we have dedicated to Swamiji. And the first September, first Sunday, our Kripamayanandaji from Toronto, he will come and he will speak on Advent of a Yogi about Swamiji. And slowly all the Swami Vivekananda's life will be explained in 5 lectures, etc. So this Vivekananda was meditating, but still he was not getting complete concentration. That is called Samadhi. And again he was going and complaining to Bhagavan Sri Ram Krishna, you can give me that blessings, you can give me that power, but you are not giving. He used to fight with Thakur. One day, when he was meditating, Bhagavan Sri Ram Krishna on the upstairs, he was lying. Suddenly, Swamiji started shouting. He was talking to other people who were nearby. Where is my hand? Where is my leg? Where is my head? Where is mine? That consciousness is there. But the physical consciousness was totally absent. Then another Swami was there, Buddha Gopal Advaitananda ji. He came and he was praising that Naren, this is your hand, Naren, this is your leg, Naren, this is your body. But then he thought that he has died. Now he has become a ghost, and the ghost is speaking. So he ran to Thakur and said, Naren has died. But Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna immediately understood and said, he was pestering me for such a long time, let him be like that. And then I will say. Afterwards, when he got back, then he went to Thakur, and Thakur told, now you have tested that samadhi, the key will be with me. You won't get it back until you complete my job. What is that? Mother's work. Mother's work is to go all over the world and to make people aware about their divine nature. That's all. So friends, devotees, is now another 7-8 minutes are there. If you have any question, there's a microphone. You can use the microphone and can ask the question on this topic. And we will meet next Sunday and we will read the aphorism explaining. If you have any questions on the meditation, you can please ask.
Swamiji, can you sing the Bengali song?
That is a different thing. Jano nare mon, ami putra tar, samanyo to noi, Rajputra hoi, pitar dhane amar, purna adhikar, jini maharaja, Vishwa jar praja. Jano nare mon, ami putra tar, samanyo to noi, Rajputra hoi, pitar dhane amar, purna adhikar. But I wanted questions.
Explain this song. That's a question.
This song, no, this is, as I was telling, this is addressing the mind. Actually telling that I am the son of God, and all that the treasure the God is having, I have every right to get that. As a son, he is getting all the property of his father. So he was telling from the mind, why you are behaving like this? I am the son of God. And all these things, the whole universe is mine. Like that. Yeah.
Swamiji, are thoughts real according to our scripture and Indian?
Real.
Thoughts are thoughts real? Because when you meditate, they come in and they kind of make things muddy, for your meditation, and they seem so real. And are they real, or does it have any existence? Because it feels so real.
No, it seems. See, what is real according to our Hindu scripture? The reality means which never changes. What is real? Only that thing which never changes. And now if we compare, my thought is also changing. The thought which came now, it has changed. So that way thought is also changing. It cannot be real. And the thought which is elevating you, giving you the higher lift, that is a good thought. And which is making you morose and weak, that is the bad thought. We have to shun that. We have to be away from that. So that is, thought are not real. Any other question? Come here.
Swamiji, I'm sorry if I have missed some of the points from your initial talk, but I do remember, like, whenever I sit for meditation, it was a process like we sit, we do japa, close our eyes and concentrate on one thing is meditation. But when I was in college, I had a friend. She used to say me that I don't sit and meditate. I walk, I talk with you, I'm meditating. I'm doing things, I'm meditating. I never sit down and meditate. But it's she used to go to some public ashram and I was going to Ramakrishna. But like, I always sit like this and did meditation. Okay, I'm doing japa, I'm going, concentrating on one thing. But how is that process when we say, you do everything, do your own work, but still all 24 hours you are in meditations?
No, actually what your friend was meaning through the word meditation is actually, well, remembering. There's a beautiful book, In the Company of God, Christ. Have constant company with the Christ. So the father, the person is having the constant company of God. Suppose in our tradition also it is there. Suppose you are cooking and you are thinking that this food I will offer to God. You are remembering God, but that is not what meditation is. The actual word, the meditation that we are using here means cessation of all thoughts, complete. And then the reflection of your own self will come. Like the ripples on the water that don't allow us to see the bottom of the water. The moment it is completely tranquil, clear water, we can see the bottom of the water. We can see so many things. Similarly, the moment our mind is free from all ripples, we can see the bottom of our mind, and then that bottom of the mind is nothing but consciousness. Tada, at that condition, when you are completely successful to control your mind, drashtu swarupe avasthanam, your original self you can see, it is there. Your friend was meditating means trying to concentrate, trying to think, but it is not meditation. Meditation means when you are meditating on a particular thing, totally away from all thoughts.
Really, I want to ask a very practical question. How do you differentiate real from unreality in practical life?
This is a very important question. All these things that we see are unreal. That's true. But suppose the devotees are not coming, what I will do standing over here? The coming, our lecturing, our devotees and the monk and all these discourses, actually it is unreal. But right this moment, it is real to us. It is unreal when you have yourself realized. Like, if you tell a small child, there's some doll he or she is so attached to, this is unreal. The doll never talks. She'll be going on talking with the doll, playing with that, dressing up, feeding. It's a real to her. But for us, it is totally unreal. Why? Experience. And there will be no doubt for us that this is unreal, because experience. So unless and until we are experiencing the truth, all these things are real, But it is not practically real, but ultimate reality, even though we are not experiencing right this moment, ultimate reality is God. So that way we have to continue in our life. So Shankaracharya is telling, Bhava Dvaita, Bhava Advaita, I am one and everything is nothing but me. That you should be in your thought. Na kuryam. But in reality, in practice, you should not do it. Why? Because the other person won't be able to understand. So we philosophically understand it is only real which never changes. Never changes. What never changes? God. So that is real. And all these things that we see, what is those? Apparent reality, because I am not understanding this is unreal. So accordingly, we have to lead our life. And she wanted to say
Swamiji, Buddhism says mindfulness. How does it compare with meditation? Mindfulness.
Fullness.
Buddhists say that. How does it compare with meditation?
Mindfulness. That is apramatta. The famous teaching of Lord Buddha is apramatta. We're fully aware, always, every moment. When you are eating, when you are sleeping, when you are mixing with other people, when you are in the society, when you are alone, always be conscious. That they are explaining mindfulness. That constantly you are aware that I am God. Constantly you are aware that I am divine. That is the explanation of the Buddhist. Same thing when we are telling about meditation, it is not inactive, it is perfectly active. How? That's why when Bhagavan Sri Krishna told Narendra, young man of 20-21 years old, see, I saw this threshold of the door and all these things that you are using for puja, and the mother, goddess Kali, this temple, and that lady over there, not with good fame, all these are nothing but God, the Chaitanya. This Naren, he came and he was laughing. Everything is God. Can that be? It is blasphemy. It can never be. And slowly, Sri Ramakrishna started teaching him, and then same Naren told, whatever you say is nothing but God. Jibe prem kare jai John. Who is service to man is service to God. Here, standing in America, in England, he said, you call human beings sinners? It is a sin to call a man so. And that is the fullness. Completely aware about the original divinity, and whatever he is doing, he is talking, he is joking, all these things are going on, but always aware. That is called apramatta, mindfulness. So thank you. Now it is almost 12:05. So now the second sloka at the back of it must be written. Nacha prana sango navai panchavayu nava sapta dhatu nava panchakosha nava panipadam na Nachopastapayu Chidanandarupa Shivoham 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 Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu